Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeff, and you're watching Time for a New Watch. Today, we are looking at the Oris Diver 65. This is the 40mm version. It's been out for a few years. There's a whole lot of different versions of it out. Some of them are 42mm, there's some 40. At Baselworld this year, they've even announced that they're going to have 36mm versions. This is pretty much the original version on the rubber strap. It's, like I said, been out for a few years, and let's get right into it. So first thing, which I think is most important, is the sizing of this watch. The case width is 40mm, not including the crown. It's only 13mm thick, which is pretty nice for an automatic dive watch. Before I get into why it's thin and everything, the lug-to-lug width, which is very important for the sizing for your wrist, is 47mm lug to lug. So this is this watch fits pretty nicely on the wrist and everything. But why is it so thin? So most dive watches these days are like, 200 meters, 300 meters, and going even further, 1200 meters I've definitely seen. So this one only has a water resistance of 100 meters. It belongs to a kind of old kind of dive watch known as a skin diver, which were very popular in the 60s. So it's thinner. It doesn't need to have a super tough case for 200-meter water resistance or more. So they could make it slimmer, and I really liked that. In fact, once I found out it was only 13 millimeters thick, I decided I'll just buy one and try it out. And it turns out it is a pretty nice watch. One major positive that I really like here is the Sapphire Crystal. When I bought it, like I said, I really like the dimensions and the look, so I just thought, yeah, it looks really nice. I really thought at that point, without looking too deep into it, that this crystal was acrylic, because I've never seen a sapphire domed like that, and it is just beautiful. Like, this is the best domed sapphire, like with a vintage vibe, that I've ever seen on any watch. I used to have a Longines Legend, which is probably the closest kind of in style to this watch. And even that one, it was really nice and everything and well executed, but the sapphire crystal on this one is just beyond comparison. So next, the movement in this is a Sellita SW200. That's basically an ETA clone. It's Swiss made. It's it's a basic movement. It's a workhorse. It's going to be cheaper to service than any in-house movement or anything, and it's very reliable. So, no knocks to Oris on that one here. Another very interesting thing that I've noticed with this is it's hard to tell, but you can see the light reflecting off the hands there, right? That is the hands are curved so that they never black out against the dial. And that's a very high-class touch that the Longines Legend did not have. And yeah, I really appreciated that little very minute detail there. You can see as the light and reflections go off of the hands there that it is indeed, they are indeed curved. Onto the crown here. There's, no crown guards. It gives off a very vintage vibe and everything. It's a screw-down crown, and let me wind it up here. Let's get it moving. See how it moves. So yeah, it's a screw-down crown, It's signed, if I can get it to focus on it, which does indeed not seem to be happening. Come on. It's signed Oris. You can't really tell. I can't get the camera to really focus on it. But yeah, it's a pretty nice crown and everything. You know, I'm not too picky on my crowns. One thing that is kind of nice, this threads in a lot more easily than other screw down crowns that I've used. So that's another positive for it here. So onto the dial. The dial is very nice. It's a glossy dial with all the kind of yellowy parts you see, those are loomed. So the numbers are loomed, indices loomed. There's a lot of use of vintage loom, which, let's face it, it could be good in your view, could be bad in your view. I guess I may have preferred not so much vintage loom on this particular model, but it doesn't detract a whole lot from it, even if I think that. I still really like this watch. It's very nice. Especially I really like the date at 6 o'clock here. It doesn't, it's very rare to see a watch do the date window in such a way that they keep the symmetry and without really sacrificing much else on the dial. Like if you can, if I turn the lights out and everything, which I can't because the sun, you would see that it's just a tiny little bite out of the 6 o'clock marker. And I think that's a very, very good execution of a date window. When I first took a look at it, it took me a minute or two to realize, oh hey, this watch also has a date window on it. And yeah, I don't know, I appreciated that little detail. One thing that people don't seem to appreciate much about this dial though is that the second indices here, they're not all the way at the edge. So you can see that the minute hand here is kind of hard to set really precisely because it's completely covering the second indicator, the minute-second indicator track. But I really didn't find that to be such a big deal at all. So onto the bezel. The bezel is an aluminum insert, and the black, it's stainless steel, of course, and it is DLC coated. It's really nice. I mean, they really this is really a nice execution of using modern materials to, update a vintage watch. Yeah, does that make sense? Yes, I guess it does. You know what I mean. So, but it's unidirectional. So it doesn't turn this way, only turns one direction. It's got the 120 clicks and everything. I will say this about it. The bezel play is, I don't know, it doesn't feel great to use. You can hear it there. It feels solid and everything, but the bezel feels somehow not solid. It feels solid but not solid. It's not the worst. It's not the best. I mean, it's not going to feel super solid or anything because the bezel is light. It is small, so it's not going to feel like a Rolex or a Marine Master or any Rolex clone or anything. Every single watch I've used or I've owned seems to have a more heavy feel to the bezel and everything. So maybe I'm just not used to this one, and maybe I never will be, I don't know, but there you go. It is what it is. Obviously, loom pip at the 12 o'clock there. Don't know if you can see that very well there. You can kind of see it. It's the same vintage loom as is on the dial and everything. So let's see what else there is to say about this. The strap. The strap is awesome, honestly. This is once again, the best execution of a tropical rubber strap. that I have seen. It's a 20 millimeter lug width, and it's just a beautiful, very comfortable, great, awesome strap. You've got your signed buckle here. Mine has a mark on it. I've owned this watch for like almost a year now, and it was my daily wear for quite a few months. And yeah, you can see one knock that some people have against the strap is that it's a little long, but most diver straps are. And I have seen people cut the tip off here so that there's not as much of a tail. I kind of like to wear this watch a little loose, so I don't really have a tail anyway, but the strap is absolutely excellent. So mainly the most negatives that I see people talking about this are just vintage loom and strap too long. This is also available with a metal bracelet and some other one-piece strap options. But I think the rubber strap is really the way to go for this particular model. For maybe the blue 42 millimeters, I would probably go with the bracelet. But yeah, this one, love it on the rubber. It just goes perfectly with the watch. So the only one major negative I have about it, you can't really tell here, but the lugs are a little bit too high when it's sitting on the wrist. So it kind of looks funny to me with a one-piece strap on it. Let me see if I can, this may be impossible. But you can kind of see here how it kind of like sits off my wrist, even though it's not in focus. There, almost got it there, whatever. You can still kind of see on this side over here, it's a little bit, the lugs just sit a little bit high above the wrist. It doesn't look so bad when you're looking at it right here, but the lugs are just a little bit high. I mean, not just the lugs, the spring bars. And it just gives it a look when you put a one piece on it, where just the one piece kind of like looks like it's bulging out here and bulging out here, and it's kind of sitting above your wrist. And I just didn't like that aspect of it too much. But other than that, this is a really solid watch. It's beautifully executed. It's been one of Oris's best sellers, I think, for the last couple of years, and it's easy to see why. I got this brand new from a gray market dealer for like $975. You can get them used for less, or you can pay retail for more, obviously. And I like it. I would recommend it if you're looking for a vintage style diver and you don't hate the looks. It will probably grow on you. So anyway, this has been Jeff. Time for a new watch. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, whatever. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.